Richie Rich Show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Richie Rich here at Wally World. And do I have a story for you? I want you to stay tuned. I got some hot stuff we got to talk about, man. Once again, Wally World taking forever to unload me, but it's nothing new. But the story I have to tell, woo! We're going to have to talk about this, y'all. Wally World, I don't know, I got an opinion about it. And we're going to talk, so hold tight and I'll get back to you. Peace. Hey, good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? Do we got a smoker today? Do we got some controversy today? I don't even know how to begin this. I just left Wally World myself. It's early in the morning. I got there at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's now 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're just not finishing me. Wally World, I tell you. But as patient as they are to unload drivers outside carriers, they should be even more patient in checking their drivers that they're hiring. Now, look, this is going to be controversial, what I'm about to say. Okay. There's a YouTuber, and not a YouTuber, but a TikToker, social media guy named Little Lamar. Now, a lot of you guys might know of him from the past. He did a lot of antics on social media driving truck. I mean, he was doing a lot of stuff for clicks, a lot of stuff for likes. And recently, it's come to the attention of social media that he was hired by Walmart. Now, we all know how difficult it is to get into Walmart, myself being a person who failed twice there. And honestly, I'm rooting for the young man. You know, it's a great career to have at a young age. You know, and I think Lamar is probably about 25 years old, 24 years old. So it's a good career. But what's happening now is that there's a push to get him fired. And I don't like that, okay? Because of his past antics. Now, listen, I did a little background on Lamar, as far as I can tell. And he is buck wild. Yes, he was. He posted a lot of inappropriate things online. I think Lamar even was a porn star for a moment there. I'm talking having sex with everybody. Trannies, shims, prostitutes, all kind of stuff. I mean, look, he's a young guy who got into trucking and social media at the same time. And listen, a lot of us make a lot of dumb mistakes as young people. But here, I want you guys to look at who I'm talking about to refresh your memory. This is what he posted, so take a look.
All right, so as you guys can see from my hat and my badge, I did pass Walmart's onboarding. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background about Walmart and how to get hired on. First off, I applied back in December, and it took them about a month to get back to my application. They hit me up actually on New Year's Eve, and that's when they wanted to schedule the phone interview. So they sent me an email for that, and then I scheduled the phone interview, the soonest one that they had, which was 2 days later on a Thursday. The phone interview was just going over their qualifications, you know, making sure that you're eligible and making sure that going over all the deal breakers like slip seating and whatnot.
Hey, I'm back. So that's the guy, Lamar. To me, it looked like he cleaned up his act. It looked like he got himself together. And then that begs my question. Do people deserve second chances? See, the reason people are upset about him working for Walmart, one, they're jealous, probably. Okay, because you know, not everybody can drive for Walmart. Okay. And secondly, they're trying to get him fired because, unfortunately, in 2021, he was arrested and convicted for having sex with an underage girl in a Walmart parking lot. Yeah, you can't make this shit up, right? He was arrested. Now, listen, I don't know the laws of South Carolina. Okay, I don't know the adjudication process he went through. To me, it sounded like he was a first-time offender. Okay, so I don't know. Only thing I know, he's not registered as a sex offender. Okay, but still, he has a sexual conviction. Happened in 2001, I believe. And Walmart still hired him. And then you should read the posts under these videos. People are like, I'm an associate and I don't feel comfortable and this and that. I got an opinion about it. I do. And like I said earlier, the guy was basically a nut. He's out here doing nuts. He's a young kid, you know, but it looks like he's about 25 years old. And you know, about 25, your brain starts to finally settle down, okay? And all the wild stuff you might have did between the ages of 16 and 21 is hopefully it didn't get you in no serious trouble. But people are sending videos and calling Bentonville, Walmart's headquarters, and they're complaining about this guy who just got a job at Walmart. And I think it's wrong. Listen, we all have made some mistakes here. We all are human. You know what I mean? Hey guys, I want you to look at this one guy's video here. Well, first, before I show you the guy's video, I'm gonna show you the first clip of what he's been accused of and what he's been doing. It's a little synopsis of what he's been doing. After that, it'll be followed by a guy who's actually trying to get him fired. Okay, so go ahead and watch that real quick.
TikTokers Who Did Terrible Things, episode 36. Lamar Lewis Cruz, aka Little Lamar, otherwise known as Mar the Trucker on TikTok. Creator class type, SoundCloud Trucker. Specialty, controversial as claim to fame, weird, funny, or downright disgusting, depending on what you know so far. Well, the now 22-year-old Seattle-born rapper is absolutely no stranger to controversy. And by now, I'm sure a few of you have seen him on various platforms rolling around in this galaxied-out Corvette while rapping about his body count. However, to truly understand his downfall, we have to take it back to 2018 when he posted a now viral video documenting his exchange with, let's just say, a local call girl. To which,
out here in the middle of nowhere on a fucking dead end at this weird ass looking creepy hotel. Wish me luck.
Destination is on your right.
Woo! I did it. I lost my virginity.
well, that video went so viral, it was enough to get his name out there and on the map. On the other hand, this was only the beginning of a long list of poor decisions ultimately leading to a much bigger problem. Now, we're not going to discuss how he got his first face tattoo on an impulse, then set up a GoFundMe page in order to get it removed 2 weeks later, or the time he did something utterly disgusting with a chicken sandwich, devoured it, then posted the video online. And to be quite honest, we can even look past the time he was arrested for filming himself cutting it up, rolling down the highway, driving erratic as hell. You see, by early 2019, Mar had finally developed the master plan, one that would absolutely catapult him into the stratosphere of internet stardom. That is, starting a false rumor he had impregnated an individual well below the age of 18. But it was the following headlines that truly did him in, stating Little Lamar had allegedly an underage girl in a Walmart parking lot, a crime to which he would later spend 4 months behind bars after accepting a plea deal. Now, it's worth pointing out, although he has since addressed this situation many times, stating that everything was just a simple misunderstanding and that she lied about her age, the damage had already been done. Anyone who had actually been listening to his music essentially dipped out. Which brings us to Mar the Trucker, with his first few uploads garnering some of the most canted engagement since the My Chalky Milk Girl, which, for those of you who don't know,
My chalky milk. Don't you touch my chalky.
legend has it, he is still trying to back that truck into his spot.
Here you go, Uncle Max. You asked and you shall receive. Now, when I move out of the way, I want you to read this headline really close. Granted, it's from 2019, but still. Pay attention. Read the headline real close. See that person with the glasses and the beads in his hair? That's Mar the Trucker. We all know who Mar the Trucker is. He's the one that said he just got hired by Walmart as a driver. So, to all the Walmart drivers that follow me, yeah, that's who just got hired on to work for the same company you're working for as a Walmart driver. Now, granted, he's not in South Carolina anymore, but apparently he's a Walmart driver now. There you go.
Hey, I'm back. Okay. Now you see what he's been accused of, right? And you see his mugshot. Do you guys think he doesn't deserve his second chance? See, I want you guys to understand something. Trucking is really a second chance career. I don't know if you guys realize this. A lot of people get into trucking because it's a second chance career. Okay, it really is. A lot of companies openly hiring ex-felons. Okay, they promote it. As a trainer, I train hundreds of students, right? And a few of them were convicted felons that actually did serious prison time. I remember 3 of them that stood out to me very vividly, but one really stood out to me. He was convicted of murder. Okay. Somehow, I don't tell my students who used to train that I used to be in law enforcement, because it kind of makes people really. I did that one time, and it really, it set up a bad tone and a very uncomfortable, atmosphere with the student when I was in the truck. So I don't say anything to my past former life, and you wouldn't even know I was a police unless I told you. Okay. But I had one guy who his trainee was convicted of murder in Florida, okay, when he was 14 years old. What him and his buddies used to do, him and about 5 other teens, used to go to Orlando to, I guess, Disneyland. And they used to break into the resort rooms, hotel rooms there, and rob the people who were visiting Disney World or Disneyland. And what happened was, one day him and his buddies went up there to go rob the hotel room, and there was a grandmom in the adjoining room, and she heard some ruckus. She came over, and he wasn't there. He was out in the car sleeping, because he said the night before they were partying, drinking, doing drugs. So he was still a little hungover. So he was in the car laying down. But what happened, the other teens tied her up. Well, before they tied her up, they made her do jumping jacks. They made her do push-ups. They did some real depriving stuff to her. This lady was about 65 years old. And finally, she had a heart attack, okay? And instead of them calling 911 and getting her help, they threw her in a closet. So what happened with my student is that he came in after the crime happened. He was hit with a accessory after the fact charge. And he didn't know what was going on, which I'm sure he knew that somebody died, because I'm sure kids don't keep that secret. But they robbed the room and they ran out. Well, all of them were caught, and it made national news. And years ago, I used to be able to see the article of it, because when he told me, I actually looked for the article and I actually found it. All the boys between the ages of 17 and 18 were sentenced to life in prison, and the kids who were 14 and 13 were sentenced to 30 years in prison. Okay, so from 14 to 21, he did time in juvie, and from 21 to 43, I think he did time in the big house. But when he came out here on the road with me, he was very religious, very respectful, very different. I couldn't even play rap music in the truck because he found it offensive. So he was a changed person, what I'm saying. So, a lot of people, do things stupid when we're young. I mean, that's an old saying that, youthfulness is wasted on the young. And that's one of the reasons why. Keep my glasses off here. But as to Little Lamar, to me, it appears that he made some mistakes as a young man, okay? And for some reason, people want to hold his feet to the flame. Now, I'm going to tell you something, man. Second chances are very important in America. And we have to give people opportunities to redeem themselves, okay? He did do some wild stuff. I mean, he was a little porn star there for a minute. And he was, he was a sexual deviant. He was, But we all been that stupid once in our life. I'm sure we all have. We just haven't recorded it for the world to see, right? But I saw that this morning while I was getting unloaded at Walmart, and I just thought that was hilarious. And I said to myself, Jesus, man, the past creeps up to you. Now, I'm hoping that Walmart don't fire him. And I'm pretty sure once they find out about the sexual abuse of a child, he might lose his job. And I think it's wrong. Okay? I think it's wrong because it seems like he cleaned up his whole act. And you got to give people second chances. That's my opinion. You guys tell me how you feel about it. You think people deserve second chances? Now, I know some people will say, Rich, he molested a child and this and that. For what I could read on the news article and I read some of the indictment, their defense was that she lied about her age. Now, as a former police officer, I tell you that happens a lot. Okay, that's a mitigating circumstance. Do you know what I mean? There's no excuse for it, and you still get punished the same, but it's a mitigating circumstances when it comes to punishment. And that could be his case. You know, that they didn't know that she was not telling the truth. I mean, it happens. Okay, thank God it didn't happen to you. Okay, but young folks do young dumb things. So, you know, people deserve second chances, man. When I was a law enforcement officer, right, in Washington, D.C., I was in the Reef Center on 14th and K with my lieutenant. I forget what we were going there for. I don't remember. It was so many years ago. But I remember a guy there named Gary. There's a janitor there. He was sweeping up the downstairs. He was mopping downstairs. And my lieutenant was talking to him for like 10 minutes. He's like, oh, hey, Gary, what up? And they were talking for a minute. Then we came back and we went upstairs to go do something. But on the way upstairs, my lieutenant looked at me. He was like, hey, I locked him up many years ago. And I said, oh, what did he do? What, DUI or what, public nuisance or something? And my lieutenant was like, no, it was murder. It was second-degree murder. He had murdered his wife during a domestic dispute. I was like, he got out? He said, well, what he did is he got into the law library, and I got subpoenaed, and they subpoenaed my notebook and my records, my files, and somehow he's able to reduce his sentence. And he got out. He got out. Then when he got out, he went to apply for a job with the D.C. government to work as a custodian. D.C. is very infamous for doing that because of Marion Barry. When I mention his name, I laugh a little bit. He's a very famous mayor from back in the 80s and 90s. But people in D.C. love this guy to death, okay, because he did a lot for the people of D.C. And one of the things that Marion Barry did for Washington, D.C. was get rid of the are you a felon or do you have a misdemeanor on the background investigation. As long as you wasn't applying for a paramedic, police, and or security sensitive job, okay? But if you're applying to be a clerk or a janitor or a, whatever in the DC government, those questions weren't asked, okay? And that helped a lot of people in Washington get federal jobs with the DC government. So people love Marion Barry for that, and this guy took advantage of that. He got a second chance. Now he's a productive citizen. He worked, I'm sure that he atoned for his sin, and I'm sure that whatever him and God worked out is something between him and God, okay? But he was able to get back in with the government and work and just go on with his life. But the reason I'm telling you that is because I think people deserve second chances, You'd be surprised the people who are given the opportunity to have a second chance to do really well, okay? Now, everybody resorts back to criminality. Now, this guy, Lamar, he might be past all that antic stuff that he did at one point in his life, but people are actively trying to get him fired, which I think is wrong, okay? I think it's wrong. I mean, do I think Walmart knows that? I'm guessing maybe not, okay? Because I remember doing my background investigation with Walmart, and one of the questions they asked on the disqualification thing is, are you registered as a sex offender? Now, you guys understand there's different tiers of sex offense registry, and some crimes that you commit don't qualify to be registered as sex offense, to be on the registry. And that's a whole another dynamic that I just can't get into because I'm not an expert in that. But I just know that not everybody who commits sexual offenses have to register, okay? So more likely he didn't have to register, especially if his first offense and the mitigating circumstances was the girl lied about her age, okay? But I'm hoping that he doesn't get fired, man. And I think you guys, that's one thing about truckers that we got to be careful about because we like to run our mouths, okay? And we like to cause trouble. We like to get into evil. What's the term? Necessary evils. Okay, we like to tell on each other and then see what happens. I'm hoping that, listen, I'm giving this young man the benefit of the doubt, and I hope Walmart does too, and allow him to continue his career. I hope they do not get him fired, but they're on TikTok literally dragging this young man, okay? Everybody makes mistakes. Now, am I advocating for people who commit crimes of that kind of nature? No, I am not. Okay, I have an iron fist when it comes to crimes against children. Trust me. Okay, one of my very first weeks on the job in Washington, D.C. was a guy down there, and I probably shouldn't tell you guys this because this is pretty sad, but there was a guy down there who was babysitting his girlfriend's daughter. The daughter was about 2 years old, okay? But he was using angel dust. He was smoking angel dust, the hallucinogen. And he mistook the 2-year-old for the grown woman. Okay, I'll let you guys think about what I'm saying with that. But it was so bad that the child bled to death. Okay, and I remember being at the Children's Hospital there in Northwest Washington, D.C., and the whole 5th District was out there, and my God in heaven, man, everybody was in tears and crying. Okay, everybody was in tears and crying. I mean, everybody. They had to put that guy in protective custody. Do you understand? They had to put him in protective custody quickly because they wanted to kill him. Okay, but trust me, I don't turn a blind eye or a soft eye towards that. But this guy here, Lamar, there's a verse in the Bible for it, I guess. When I was a child, I did childish things, but when I became a man, I put those childish things behind me. And hopefully that's what happened to him. Anyway, guys, peace and love, and leave your comments. Like, subscribe, and comment. YouTube demonetized me, man. I think because I used a video from Little Lamar on my short. So I might drop my Cash App down there in the comment section. If you want to send 50 cents or $1 to Richie Rich, man, to support the channel, thank you guys. And I continue to bring up good conversation pieces and topics about trucking, But I'm suspended for 90 days, man. That sucks. Anyway, guys, peace and love, man. And like, subscribe, and comment, please. And we'll talk soon. Bye.